To another day, another episode of The Daily Grind. I'm your host, 30NSG, and on today's show, we're going to be talking about Halo Battle Royale was apparently a fantastic experience. That's coming from Game Rant. We're going to talk about Warhammer 40,000. Space Marines 2 sells 4.5 million in just over a month. And we're going to talk about IO Interactive James Bond game will feature a young 007. So that's what gamers can call their own. If you guys like what we do here, we do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning till about noon Eastern. Is that music super loud? Man, I gotta lower that more. Give me 1 second. We'll take that off. All right. How's everyone doing? What's going on, chat? What's going on, Travis? What's going on, Dustin? Brandon Clips. Crisco, yeah, what's going on? Good morning, good morning. It is. It's chilly. It's 54 degrees outside. What's going on, world? Yeah, it was a little chilly this morning for a Florida boy. Yeah, how low do I have to make this music? I just want it playing in the background. I don't want it to take over the stream. All right, so real quick, I want to see, because we're using this new program, right? I want to see, do you guys like if the title tickers down at the bottom like this for the news, or would you rather have it where it says it like this? Right? Like, which one is better? The ticker or the one that stays on there on the screen the entire time? Right? So which one would you rather have? The ticker or no ticker? It's like the track keeps getting louder and louder. We're gonna have to find a balance with this music. Like the ticker? I like the one that stays there and pops up is too extracting. I like the one that stays there. Okay, I see what you're saying. So you think you like the you think the one at the bottom's too distracting. So you just want this to pop up. Got it. All right. We'll play with them and see what works out. Can you make a 30NSG symbol that looks like CNN? All this stuff scrolls across the bottom. I mean, I could. I could. 30SNG. Well, I like that. I think Eclipse brings up a good point, though. It is kind of distracting. I do like it, though, for stuff like, where is it? Let's see. Where is it? Like, I like this where when I'm not doing the news, because I was listening to what Kingard said the other day. When people come into the stream, if they're coming in right now, they're like, well, what is this guy talking about? What's he doing? You know what I mean? So, like, that at the bottom of the screen would be better for that section. But for news stuff, when it's on the screen, I think Eclipse is correct. We're popping this up and leaving it there because we're talking about this. I think that's a good thing. But I also think like this is good because it is distracting, as he said, and people would actually read it. You know what I mean? So, right? But I get it. I get it. Come on, Josie Mac. Now, see, this music comes in. I have this volume down to like a minuscule type of thing, and it feels still like it's overpowering my voice. It's crazy. Ron says we want the official 30 NSG goalpost t-shirt and coffee mugs. I would have to come up with an interesting design. I don't want to just put a goalpost on it. But it's a good idea, Ron. If it's a joke or not, that's actually a pretty good idea. Like, this music is down to a 3. That's a 3. This is a 4. Hold on. That's a 4. Like, I don't know. I think this program's broke. I think this program's broke. I think it's broke. I don't think the volume actually means anything. Welcome to Inner Thoughts with 30 NSG. Breathe deeply and relax and at ease. I don't want it to jam. I don't want it to jam. I just want a nice little music in the background, but there's no. It's just blaring. It just blares the entire time. Ambulance Simulator is coming out in early 2025 to consoles and PC. See, games like that, games like the Storage Hunter Simulator or Cooking Simulator or any of those simulator type games, to me, are like a weekend play. If that. And when I say weekend, I mean a couple of hours on a weekend. And that's about it. I'm debating about it, Eclipse. Do we know how long it is? Because we could do something and just watch it and then end it right after. I know it's a weird thing with these events, right? Because we all want to watch it together. But most of the time, they pull all the videos. Like, I get DMCA'd all the time for this stuff. And it's mostly not worth it. Do you know what I mean? It's only like 25 minutes. I think I'll just let other people do it. You know what I mean? Right. It's going to be like 40 minutes. I recommend mute audio music. Like, you're talking about mute audio music in the background for this? Or are you talking about for the show, Dustin? What's wrong, Kyla? Squirrel with a gun. Yeah, games like that, even like that, like Goat Simulator to me. My son loves Goat Simulator. I can't play it. I can't play it. The one thing I don't like about this program is that chat's over here. I gotta look over here. I want chat over here, but you know, it is what it is. Go on, Sarge. Yeah, I already watched it yesterday, Travis. I watched that yesterday afternoon. All right. Let's talk about Warhammer 40,000. Space Marines 2. Okay. Let's talk about it. If you guys like what I do, we do this Monday through Thursday. We just take an article, read the article, give you my thoughts and opinions on that article, have a conversation. It's like a radio show in the morning. It's been like this for about 4 years now. But you're at work, you're in the car, doing some garden work, whatever. If you're listening to me, I do appreciate you very much. We just talk about gaming news, give you my thoughts and opinions, and have conversations with chat. If you'd like to help us out, hit that like button down below. Hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. I am changing the format a little bit as far as members of the stream. I want to give something to be a member. So I am going to answer people's comments and stuff, but if I don't see your comment, I'm going to prioritize members of the stream more over the people that are non-members. I'm straightforward with you guys, so I'm letting you guys know. I see everyone's chat. I'm reading the stuff, but I'm going to prioritize people that are members over non-members. If you don't like that, that's cool. But if you want to, help out and support the channel, you can. And if you don't want to be a member, but you want to get your comment read, if it's a question or something, you can always use Super Chat as well. Okay. Let me... Let's take that off. All right. So Warhammer 40K Space Marines 2 sells 4.5 million in just over a month. Okay, the Emperor's pleased, it says. This article comes from IGN. You can find all the articles that we read today in the description down below, so you read them for yourself. Warhammer 40K Space Marines 2 has sold 4.5 million copies, the publisher Focus Entertainment has announced. Now, you see how the difference is? Before I even get into this, you see when a company is excited about the sales of their game, they will post it. They will scream from the rooftops like we've said in the past, where companies that tell you that, yeah, our game's selling well, but they actually don't show you the numbers of what it's selling. There's the difference, okay? The Saber Interactive development action game set in Games Workshop grimdark science fiction universe has already broken records upon its launch on September 9th, becoming the most played Warhammer 40,000 or Warhammer video game ever released on Steam with a huge peak concurrent player count. And now, a little over a month after launch, Space Marines 2 has hit 4.5 million players. Last month, Saber Chief Creative Officer Tim Willits told IGN how the breakout success of Space Marines 2 has changed everything for the company. At the times, Willits wouldn't go into hard numbers, either it's in revenue or profit terms, but he did go into the record to say that Space Marines 2 was the fastest-selling game he's ever worked on. See, they didn't want to talk about it then, but now they're talking about it because they're like, hey, it's popular, and because it's popular, maybe it becomes more popular. It's like a snowball effect that happens, okay? And this includes all the Doom, all the Quake, all the Wolfenstein, and the Rage games that ID Software has released over the last 24 years he was at the studio. Okay. Speaking to IGN, Willits revealed that the budget for Space Marines 2 was less than half of what Doom Eternal was, and the last game he was on id Software studio director on before leaving to join Saber in 2019. It seems likely that Space Marines 2, whose standard edition currently costs $59.99 on Steam and $69.99 on console, is already the highly profitable endeavor for all involved. There's also already ideas flowing around the now inevitable Space Marines 3, but it's in the shorter term. Space Marines 2 has confirmed year one roadmap of post-launch support to deliver. Speaking of which, Focus has confirmed that the immediate arrival of the Tyranid Bio-Titan enemy type and the new Neo-Volk, I'm going to butcher this, Volkite pistol, okay, and anticipated Dark Angels chapter cosmetic pack, but it's also not coming to Space Marines 2. The eagle-eyed fans have spotted that Space Marines 2 chapter now all but confirmed to get cosmetic pack after the Dark Angels, and also even unannounced new Thousand Suns enemy type. Saber recently released Space Marines 2 game-changing patch 3.0, which also made it seamlessly innocuous change. That's the wrong word. Ending also the Warhammer 40K fans excited. Season 2 is set to kick off at the end of October. Now, look, Warhammer is a very popular game. It looks great. I think it's great. I'm going to buy the game down the road when it's complete. Now, I understand that 4.5 million people are playing this game and enjoying the game and saying it's a great and fantastic game, but I just can't get by that the game is asking for full money up front and waiting 1 year to get all the content, even though it says all the content is free. I personally can't get by paying for a game full price where I'm waiting for all the content to come in the game. Now, you put all that content in the game. If it's free, you should have finished it and put it out while the game was launched. Instead, they're working on it after the fact, and I get it. That's the business model they choose, and I'm choosing not to oblige with it, right? So very exciting for Warhammer 40K Space Marines 2, selling 4.5 million copies so far in the first month. So that's good news for Warhammer. What do you guys think of Warhammer? Are you guys still playing Warhammer since it came out? Did you burn out real fast? Have you dabbled in it as you played? Have you set it down and go back on the weekends? Let me know in the comment section down below. These are just my thoughts. Let me know yours. In live chat, let me know if you guys are still playing. What do you guys think of the game so far? And are you excited for the other content coming out later this year? All right, chat. Let me see what you guys are saying. Dolphin says, I like the little ticker personally. Maybe do you a poll? I can't do polls. I can't do polls in this program, which is a thing that I've actually already messaged them and said, I wish I could do a poll. We could do polls in YouTube, but I can't do polls in the actual thing. So I have to go to a separate, I guess I could do it. You know what? Let's do a poll. I can do it. I can open it up in YouTube, but I can't do it in the program that I'm using. So give me a second. Let's see. Do you standard fucking cap lock was on. All right. And I'll put them both back up on the thing so you guys can see. All right, so there's the poll. And I'm going to put the banners back up for both of these things just so you can see. All right, we have, oh, that's the wrong one. We have the ticker, and then we have that. So which one do you guys like better? Right? Which one do you guys like better? Do you like the standard Warhammer 40K, like the titles of the thing that just stay on the screen while we're doing the report? Or do you like the ticker at the bottom of the screen? Dolphin says, I know I'm behind. Travis says, didn't you pay full price for Suicide Squad? And it said that just asking, not condemning 30. I personally didn't pay full price for Suicide Squad. Suicide Squad was a gift from my brother-in-law, which I told him not to buy me games because I feel bad when people buy me games because they don't know what games I like or don't like. But yeah, you're absolutely correct. I had the full version of Suicide Squad at launch, which I wouldn't have done. Yep. Tremillo says, I'm still playing. It takes a long time to get those class trees fleshed out, and we're still getting our asses kicked on harder difficulties. Well, that's good, though, right? Isn't that good? Spicy Man 69 says, "Rejoice, brothers! We're making waves." Yeah, no, it's a great game. The only thing I have a problem with, Spicy Man, and it's not with Space Marines 2. It's just with the industry itself releasing a game, but it doesn't have all its full stuff in the game. That's the only thing I have. Right? And each their own. Each their own. Eclipse says, I don't know what I like more, trying to get the new world. I'm not going to lie. I had a lot of fun playing Thrones and Liberty. I'm going to try to get to endgame in New World. I was debating last night, before I even played the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game last night with Sarge, I was debating. I was like, what game should I play? Do I want to buy New World again and play it on console? I said, do I want to play New World on PC? Do I want to, are we playing Thrones and Liberty? I'm gonna spot right now, Brain. I just don't know what I want to do. Spice Man says, I can't wait to play KCD2. What is I don't know the KCD. What is KCD? As soon as you say, I'm gonna be like, yeah, okay. What's going on, Hilly? Hilly says, I like the ticker and voted for it. However, I have serious feedback and think the speed needs to be reduced. Oh, I can't see. I can't. The ticker. I can't do anything about the speed for the ticker. That's a good note, though, to send in to the company. for StreamYards. What's going on, Robert Jones? Morning, Wonder Rose. 30 looks like a news reporter now. Yeah, that's what you were saying earlier. I put a little logo in the bottom corner. So let me know what you guys are voting for here. Let me see what you guys so far. 64% of you like the ticker. Okay, only 11 of you have voted. 36% of you like the standard just staying on the screen. World says watching people play Space Marines just made me want to play Gears of War. I get that too. I actually said a comment like that when we first saw it. I was like, man, makes me want to play Gears of War. Jason says I'm in the same boat. I won't get Space Marines 2 until it's a complete and much cheaper. Yeah, and again, it's nothing against the game. You know what I mean? They chose to do a business model, and I disagree with it, right? There's no difference between that game and the other games that are incomplete. Okay, now Space Marines 2 had a little issues with the matchmaking and stuff. People had issues; they had to get refunds and whatnot. But I personally want to play a full game. Since says I like the news ticker. Yeah, the ticker is the thing that moves. That's correct. Or you could say that your ticker. Yeah, my ticker hurts, which would be your heart. But, you know. Travis says it's called Gears of Superior. It's 40K universe. That makes it better than Gears for me. Well, yeah, if you like the IP, for sure. Yeah, 100%. All right, so I'm going to shut both these things down for the banners. But you guys let me know. I like this when we're talking to chat. I like the ticker for this particular thing because when people come in, okay, I want that people be like, oh, what is this guy talking about? So if they're looking through the phone and it happens to be at the bottom, it'll say it's eye-catching. You know what I mean? So when we're talking to chat, we're talking to chat. And we're making changes. We're doing different things here. Always trying to make it a little bit more entertaining or whatnot. Just Haley says, I want SM2 or Space Marines 2 to be complete. And I was going to ask my wife to pick it up for my birthday in 2 weeks. But I'm not buying it until I see a complete edition or something like that. Right. So not this birthday, Hilly, but next birthday, when the game is complete, then your wife could buy it for your birthday next year in 2025. So... because it's just not. It's just not. Robert Jones says, voted ticker. It will keep people longer when they're trying to read it. I'm trying to do the Ubisoft mentality of just bloat the stream, have it really elongated out. You know what I should do? I should space it out one letter at a time, so you have to wait for it to go across so you can't read the whole thing. That's smart right there, Jones. That's smart right there. What's going on, Kuda Papa? Gears is going to move numbers when it comes out. Oh, for sure. For sure. But also, it's not going to move numbers at the exact same time, Akuda Papa, because lots of people are just going to play it on Game Pass. Crowded says, I think the graphics of Space Marines looks nice, but the game doesn't look all that interesting to me. I want more Gears. But are you a fan, Crowded, of that universe? Are you a fan of Warhammer? Are you a fan of the 40K universe, right? Like, see, I like it, but I'm not a huge fan of it. Sarge is a huge fan of 40K. So he's much more, like, he likes playing that stuff. I just like it because of the setting and whatnot, but I don't know the lore or anything like that. So to me, again, if Transformers came out with a game like this, I would be more inclined for a Transformers game than I would be because of the IP. That's my mindset, Worlds, that the ticker's moving so people see it and it kind of keeps it, keeps it interesting. I don't know. Travis says, Space Marines 2, it wasn't in 40K universe. It wouldn't be as good, but 40K, hell yeah. Right, and I think that's the thing. Eclipse says, yeah, it definitely has the to show me what it's worth $70. I love Gears, but it has to bring a lot to the table, and I can just pay $12 for it. Right. Yeah, so we'll keep the ticker for certain things. For the titles for the show, right now 16 of you voted, 62% say ticker. Maybe we'll do all ticker, but for news episodes or articles, I think we'll experiment with it as of right now. Right now, everyone says, or the majority says, ticker. Kylo says, I hope the Space Marines 2 shows collections of what people want. I hope it actually helps them in a way, since they're so far out, it can help set the bar for them and what they have to surpass. Here's the thing that, like, I'm happy for them for selling 4.5 million copies. But what they see is that we can sell a game now and it's successful and it's not complete. And that's what I don't like. Okay. Obviously, I like companies make a game, sell a game. They did make a game. The game came out. It's a good game. Okay. But it's an incomplete game in my eyes because of all the stuff that they're selling, because they're giving it away for free. Now, if you wanted to say that the stuff that's coming out is DLC and you're charging for it after the fact, cool. Because then I would feel as the customer that you've completed everything you wanted to complete at the launch of the game, and then I would pay for it. And then all the stuff for the season pass, the annual pass, whatever you want to call it, okay, coalition, right? If you want to put that in after the fact and then say it's complete or it's DLC, then cool. But because they came out and said, here's the game for this price, and we have all of this content coming out throughout the year, I'm not going to purchase it because you're not complete, right? That's my mentality. He says, I'm old, so looks fast, but I also get over it. Anything that tells new people what's going on is great. Just do this, Hilly. When you look at the thing, as soon as it comes onto the screen, just go. It makes it slower. It makes it slower. Yeah. It'll make it slower. Don't worry about it. Okay. I think it should be a new rule. If you make a third-person shooter, it must have a horde mode or whatever Mass Effect 3 did. I mean, I think more options are better. You know what I mean, Travis? But then it goes into a conversation of what can they do for the size of the studio and the amount of time that they have. Jason says, I feel like Gears E-Day will be nothing special. The series is past its prime days. I don't know if it's past its prime, Jason. I do think it's hard to always do this, right? I do. Like there's something. Let me take movies for example, right? When you have movies like the Fast and Furious series, where there's like 10 of them now, okay? There's ones that do well, like 1 and 2 do good, and then like 3 kind of flattens out, maybe 4 goes down a little bit, then they shoot back up, right? And then down the road, someone might like 8 or 9, okay, of the 10. And I don't want to say it's over, it's shipped out, it's done. I think you can't always do this. It's impossible to always keep, right? Even with celebrities or popular shows, they have this point of where they're like this, then they shoot up to the stratosphere, and then they mellow out again because the hype is so real. The game is, the game, the book, the movie, expectations are not met. It kind of flattens out, and then all of a sudden, because it's died out, someone comes out with something, and then it shoots back up again. Hilly said, I just tried that, and I've now fallen off the chair. Hit the button. Hit the button. Screen. Help me. I've fallen, and I can't get up. Travis says, Jason's correct in the past of its prime, but then again, Sylvester Stallone doesn't keep me from liking Tulsa King. But just your comment there, Travis, right? Like Sylvester Stallone is like back in the eyes of people again. You know what I'm saying? You can't constantly do this. It's impossible. Because says, Travis, stop talking. You're glazing Space Marines, and it's the same damn thing as Gears. Yeah, it's not though. It's not. It's the same thing as Gears, but it's an IP that he likes, right? One is on Xbox. One is on Xbox and PlayStation. One is an IP he likes, and one is an IP he likes on a platform he doesn't like, right? So there it is. That's the bias there. That's the bias. Right. No, I get it, Travis. It's the IP that you like. I get it. All right, here's a big one, Hilly. I'm going to be putting this scrolling at the bottom here. This is a big one. You're going to take a time. You have to read it like a couple of times. Okay. The reason I'm putting this here is I don't pull any kind of punches or anything like that. I'm letting you guys know straight up. We started this week. Okay. I'm reading, as you can tell, I'm reading everyone's comment in chat when it's there. Okay. I'll pull out the ones that I like. But people that are members of the channel, I'm trying to give more back to the members of the people that pay $5 a month. I don't have any. There's besides the emotes and stuff in the channel. I just want to keep reiterating this, okay, that I'm going to prioritize people that are members in channel in the chat before I read people that are comments. And if it gets lost, you can let me know, hey, scroll up or whatever, and I'll look at it. But as we go, as we grow as a channel, as we change stuff, things are happening. But I want to give members something besides like just the emotes and whatnot in the channel. So I will prioritize members, okay, of the stream, their comments before non-members. If you're a non-member and you can't afford being a member, cool. This is why I'm still reading other people's channels. If you would like to go above and beyond that, you could do a super chat or whatnot. So, you know, I'm not asking. All my content is absolutely free. You don't have to become a member. You don't have to do a super chat. You could just sit back, relax, and listen to me jabber away for 2 hours a day, 4 days a week, maybe 5 days a week. We might be doing Friday shows. Okay, just covering gaming news and stuff. I do appreciate everyone coming in, hanging out with us as we do this. What's going on, Argus? Joan says, just hit the pause button when it comes across the screen. That's smart. Then they'll be behind, and then they'll start commenting and stuff because they might be slow readers, Jones. They might be slow readers. All right, let's go to our second story here. Let me bring up the next story. The Halo Battle Royale. If you guys like it, no ticker there. Okay, if you guys like what I do, we do this Monday through Thursday. We just read news stories, have articles, give you my thoughts and opinions on the article, not based off anyone else's opinions, not off all other people's videos. I haven't read this article. I'm reading it for the first time with you guys, and then I'll give you my thoughts and opinions based on that and that alone. Like that, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. All right, so Halo Battle Royale was apparently a fantastic experience. Now, I talked with Kinger the other day because we knew about the Halo Battle Royale, and I've been consistent across the board, right? Like, Halo's not about a Battle Royale. The Halo is about the single-player campaign and PvP. Now, I get it. Battle Royale is PvP, but the difference between Halo, okay, and the Battle Royale is more of it changes the landscape of what the game is, and Halo is not known for this. Now, I'm not saying that Halo can't make a Battle Royale, but I just feel like more people would play the Halo Battle Royale than they would play the actual what Halo is in the arena stuff. You know what I mean? So it'll be very interesting to see what happens, because I don't think it's canceled. I know it's canceled in the Slipspace engine, but I don't think it's going to be canceled in the new Unreal Engine, especially since some of the best Battle Royale games are made in the Unreal Engine. Real fast, Lenforce with the gifted 20 gifted memberships. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate that very much. I don't have a round of applause. So what we could do, because I don't have my audio in yet, we'll do this. We'll have a little music for you. Thank you very much for the 20 gifted memberships. That's very kind of you. Very kind. All right. Appreciate that very much. All right, so let's read this. Okay, let's read this. All right, so more evidence of the Halo Infinite Forge mode has popped up, describing it as a fantastic experience. As its newest series title so far, the team behind Halo Infinite has had plenty of opportunities to take a look at the many industries trends and decided whether or not it's worth incorporating into the modern Halo experience. For a while, it's been its possibility of the Battle Royale mode for the game. Now, rumors about the Halo Infinite's Project Tatanka, great pickup trucks, by the way, if you were a kid, little Tatanka trucks, those are fantastic. Takes a lick and keeps on ticking. Mode described as the PvE mode capable of supporting up to 40 players, offering free-for-all matches, triples, and quads. Tatanka had reportedly been a development since 2020 up to mid-2022 before eventually getting scrapped. Now, players were disappointed to see the potential for the game mode seamlessly just squandered. Some fans weren't bothered by Tatanka was canceled, or were bothered by Tatanka was canceled since it preferred Halo sticking with its more traditional aspects. And I think that's more of my aspect of it, right? Now, more evidence of Tatanka existence has shown up. Now, gamers noticed that Mike Klopper, design director at Halo Infinite campaign and multiplayer modes, had a blurb on his LinkedIn profile discussing the previously all but confirmed Battle Royale mode for the video game. Talking about the experience, Klopper stated that he led the team that worked on the canceled mode for Halo and believed it would have been a game changer, and calling it a fantastic experience despite being canceled. Now, this might be that moment where Jason said earlier that Gears of War, is past its prime and whatnot, right? It's kind of gone. Halo's in that same type of category, right? We can't constantly always do this. There's ups and downs and everything. It's really hard to keep people's attention and whatnot. Hence why I put a ticker, right? But Halo could have this Fortnite moment. And what I mean by this is Fortnite was a save the world tower defense game, like I said the other day. Okay. But within 3 months, after 8 years of development of that, it bombed. Okay. It was terrible. Okay. I liked it. But they moved it and swung it over to Fortnite Battle Royale, and that was game changer for them. That was a game changer for Fortnite. Okay. Could Halo do the exact same thing? Could a Halo Battle Royale bring life back into not Halo per se the game, but Halo the franchise, Halo the IP, Halo bringing people back in going, man, I love playing this Halo game. But I struggle to see the reason Fortnite is so successful and the reason what they're doing works is because they're constantly putting skins in. They're constantly putting new IPs and new things in. Can Halo reach that level? I don't know. Even if they come out with a game like Warzone, like a Battle Royale, like Fortnite, can Halo come out and what is their standing power? Right? What is it? Is it just Halo? But now in an open world stuff and you're going on quests and stuff in this open world, but you're also doing Battle Royale? Because you can't have Nicki Minaj come in and be a Halo, right? You can't have him be an ODST, have Cheech and Chong come in. You can't have crossovers. I feel like that breaks what Halo is. Now, if you're going to turn Halo into that, then it's just Warzone. Then it's just Fortnite. But the other side of me thinks that maybe that's what they want to do. Like Amazon has multiple MMOs, right? They have multiple MMOs. Now, maybe because now Activision's owned by Microsoft and Halo is owned by Microsoft, maybe they want to put as many Battle Royales as possible on their platforms because maybe you liked Warzone Battle Royale. Maybe you liked the Halo Battle Royale. They don't care where you play or what you play. They just want you playing on their ecosystem. Okay, so Halo Infinite's Battle Royale was considered a game changer. Many of us has taken the official confirmation that the rumors about the Battle Royale mode for Halo Infinite. Some gamers weren't particularly shocked that there was also more evidence of this and modes existed. But there's also more interested in to see former members of the games team discussing its any capacity. Since fans, outlets, and have discovered this information, Klopper appears to have edited his section of the LinkedIn profile, now briefly saying he led a team that worked on the game's multiplayer portions of nothing more. And this was exciting for more than Halo considered trying new things. And although the portion of the game has been canceled, Halo Studios is still working on new things, and so are its fans. Okay, although Halo Studios seems to have been completely abandoned work on the Battle Royale mode, have they? We don't know that. Okay, they said they had five Halo games in the works, right? Like 5 different types of games. So maybe one of them is the Battle Royale. And does not have to where it stops for fans on the series. Now that gamers have access to the Title Forge mode, they have also gone ahead and created a Battle Royale mode for Halo and on their own. Anybody who also was looking forward to seeing the series put in spin of a genre can do so while also enjoying the most up-to-date version of the Forge available. Okay, so obviously, like I said, I feel like, would this be interesting to see that bring interest back into Halo? Like, for instance, Minecraft is Minecraft, but Minecraft has branched out for what Minecraft is. They made Minecraft Dungeons. They made Minecraft Legends. One worked, one didn't work, okay? And they experimented with things. Does Halo come out, instead of making a game mode inside of Halo, they make Halo Battle Royale a standalone game, not within the mode itself, like not in the game itself? Do they make, you can go back to like Halo Wars, right? Do they make Halo Wars again? Do they make a Halo Battle Royale? Do they come out with another Halo game? Is that what these 5 games are? I don't know. These are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments section down below. Where do you think, or what do you think about Halo? And if they came out with a Battle Royale, do you think it should be a standalone game? Do you think they should move it into the actual game itself as you just pick it, sort of like a Fortnite? Go pick Battle Royale, go pick a wide open world, go pick this, that type of stuff. Or do you think it should be a standalone game? Let me know in the comment section down below. Let me know in live chat. I appreciate you watching. Be sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as low as $5. I appreciate you, and I'll see you guys on the next one. All right, chat. What do you guys think? I mean, the Halo Battle Royale, I'll be honest, I'm not excited about it because just like I talk about Battlefield, I don't want a Battle Royale in Battlefield. I want Battlefield to be Battlefield. If I want to go play a Battle Royale, I'll go play a Battle Royale. Same with the Call of Duty, right? I don't really play Warzone. I tried a little bit last year or 2 years ago. We played the, what was it called? Was it the Dark Zone? It wasn't the Dark Zone. I forget what it was called. But we played it, but it made me want to go play Battlefield. And then I went back and played Battlefield. And then Battlefield made me depressed because it wasn't Battlefield, right? So we had our little issues there, okay? But I think Halo Battle Royale, as I talked to Kinger the other day, I thought about it afterwards. I was like, it could be cool, but I don't know if I want it in Halo. I don't know if I want it in Halo. And does it matter to me as a gamer if it separates the player base? No. Does it matter to them? No, because if you're playing Halo over here, if you're playing Halo over here, it doesn't really matter if they separate it or not. They just want more people playing in the ecosystem of what they're making. Let me see what you guys are saying. Halo had a prime. Let's see. Jason says they missed the opportunity years ago. COD and Fortnite have BR on lock now. I don't want to say they don't have, because think about this. Just a couple years ago, Jason, you wouldn't think that Call of Duty would get into the realm of Battle Royale, but all of a sudden now Call of Duty has thrown their hat in the ring with PUBG, Fortnite, and now Call of Duty. So is there room for another one? It's going to be harder, obviously, because of saturation point, but I think there's still room. Annabeth says Battle Royale games are trash. It's a point of view. Yeah, some people think of, but they're the most played games right now on the planet Earth. So that's one thing. Crowded House says keeping Halo BR interesting sounds like a lot of work. I just don't know where they go with it, House. Like what type of cosmetics do you bring in? What kind of stuff do you bring in? I don't know. Travis says, how could they all know Master Chief is a Fortnite guy? One of the few times that Fortnite players are correct. Tremolo says, I mean, Infinite is profitable for as minimal as it is. You think Battle Royale won't take them cash in? You're smoking something stronger than me. I just don't know where they go with it, right? Like they bring in Battle Royale, but I don't think they can monetize it as like Fortnite, like a Call of Duty. And if you do, you kind of just lose what Halo is then at that point. Sarge says 5 Halo games, really? Let's calm down. They didn't get people to play one. They don't have to buy it, Sarge. They just got to make 5 games and put it on Game Pass. It's first-party titles. Can you one-shot people in Fortnite? My son gave me an info the other day. It was kind of weird because he was testing stuff out. He had 2 controllers because he was playing split screen on his thing, right? And he just randomly came up and said, Dad, look at this. Look what I found out. He says, if you shoot somebody when they're regular, they're just holding the gun, he shoots them. He says, look how Look how far the health goes down. I was like, okay. He goes, but now look how fast it goes down when they're doing an emote. And he did an emote, and one of them was dancing, and then he shot it, and it was a one-shot kill. And I was like, well, that's interesting. And I don't know if that's a thing, and if people knew this. I mean, obviously, you're going to have the other guy doing an emote to shoot him in the face and to get that one-shot kill, but he showed it to me multiple times, and you can one-shot somebody if they're doing an emote. So I thought that was interesting. Jones says, I would have been all over Halo BR. I would have given it a shot, Jones, honestly. I would have given it a shot. Cliff says, I'm not going to lie. If they put a third-person mode in Halo and a Battle Royale, I might play. What about if it's broke, buggy, and unfinished day one? Would you still play it? What's going on, D-Money? D-Money says, Halo Reach had armor and progression finalized and perfect. Bringing that back and added some custom classes like COD, either unlock guns. Simple. What's going on, Kraken? Kraken says, a lot of people just enjoy trash. Just look at COD players. World says, I enjoy BR mode if they made it their own thing. Right, and that's the thing. How do you differentiate, just like we talk about all these like hero shooters, like how did Concord stand out from the rest, right? It didn't, right? How does Apex hand out from the finals or hands out from, all these games? The finals sits itself out because it's a game show, but then there's the other one coming out. What was that? What's the other one that's coming out? The Bank or something like that, where it's another like game show or heist type of thing. All of these games are coming out, and they all kind of look the same. They're all free to play, hero shooter, type of games. You got to make it stand out. How would Halo stand out besides going, oh yeah, it's Halo Battle Royale? How did that work out for Battlefield Battlefield 5 and Fallout 76 when they had their Battle Royales? They try to make them stand out, but they just fell off to the wayside. Crowded says, successful BR would probably pull resources away from the PvE content people want as well. Well, this is why I think, what about if they made it a separate game? That's why I said what I said. What about they make it a separate game and it's not within the Halo? So like the next Halo comes out, Halo Infinite 2, let's say, right? And in Halo Infinite 2, it's the exact same stuff that's in Halo Infinite 1, new maps, new things, PvP mode, but there's no Battle Royale. The Battle Royale is a separate game mode completely. Different team, different resources. That could work out for them. Eclipse says, well, I think if it would just be like a mode, like a multiplayer, is now for Halo Infinite. World says, I think it's because they changed the emotes to have the same hit detection because people using certain ones were completely dodging shots. Ah, interesting. Jones says PUBG is about to be cooked. Well, PUBG was one of the most popular games on the planet. It made its money. It made a lot of money, so much so that Krafton, bought a bunch of different companies out, right? So it made a lot of money for them. So it did its thing. It's never going to last forever. They could sell Master Chief without a helmet. Yep. How many times? Here's Master Chief without a helmet, and he looks like this guy. And, oh, that's it. That's it, Dolphin. Everyone's Master Chief, right? So you can have, it's Master Chief, no helmet, and it's Cheech. And it's Master Chief with no helmet, and it's Chong. It's Master Chief, and it's Nicki Minaj, right? So they just take everyone's Master Chief, right? Oh, there's the marketing. Anyone's Master Chief. There you go. Crowd says, I almost forgot there's rumors of Concord coming back. Isn't that exciting? I mean, I said it's going to come back the day it got canceled because of the wording they said in the document. I said they're probably going to put it back on the back burner for 6 months and work on it and then relaunch it. But we talked about that on Monday. Like, what are they going to do to change the perception of it? You could put hot women in there and hot guys. It's still the same game. Tremolo says, I think they learned into the lore or lean into the lore. University could stand out, bring back some of the Spartan OP styles, content, objectives with the map. Sure, I think they could do that. I think they could do what Fortnite does, like give you missions and stuff on the map to do. I think they could definitely do that. I just don't know where they go from a monetization standpoint for cosmetic skins. Like, how many Master Chiefs are you going to sell with different armor and whatnot? I don't know. I think that gets stale pretty fast. Again, the reason Fortnite and I think this is why Call of Duty is doing what they're doing, because I think they saw, well, how many military guys are we going to make? Let's spruce it up. Let's put a sloth. Let's put a monkey. Let's put stoners. Let's put musicians. You know what I mean? Battlefield had a BR. I don't know if you didn't know that, Travis. Yeah, but it did. And actually, I think they're bringing it back again, if I'm not mistaken. World says, I will stop playing Halo if they remove this damn helmet. Leave it on. Yeah. That's it. He's like, I'll play the game, but if they take his goddamn helmet off, that's it. I mean, I already did it with the show, right? Now, often you see it with his helmet. Yeah, why not? Everyone is Master Chief. Robert Jones says PUBG is doing region merges, and people are complaining the ping is too high. Well, that's what happens when there's less and less people playing the game. They gotta combine the people. They're like, well, these people in this region are playing, and these people in this region are playing, so let's just merge them together, and then they'll be happy. But they're like, we're not happy. This is why it's so important, Jones, that when games come out at launch, they work, right? Because it's a bomb ticking at that time. When a game comes out and first impressions are everything, if you're fixing it over the next 3 years, 4 years, and it's never complete, and by the time it gets complete, everyone's moved on, right? It just gets older, and people get less interested in it. Just Haley says, I would play Halo BR, but just make Halo drop the open crap, have a traditional campaign, 12 good missions, but let me use my Spartan from the multiplayer. That'd be interesting if they could do that. Sarge says, if you first don't succeed, fail again. No, they don't have monkeys. I think they have sloths, and they had a monkey glove from King Kong. That you had to pay $80, $90 for, if I'm not mistaken. Jesse Max says if they take off the helmets, then they're all the clone troopers then. Right? It's always just the clones. Yeah, it's I don't know where they go. I don't know where they go with it. I don't know where they go with it. That's the problem, right? Halo BR, everyone's excited about it, but how do you market that after the fact? How do you keep it going once it's out? Halo's out. It's really fun, right? You get 5 to 6 people in your group. You're running around the open world map. Now we're talking 6 months later. What are you doing? You're still doing the exact same thing? What makes it different? What makes it stand out? Why am I playing Halo BR besides being Halo? Jones says, I think I want to shut down PUBG without the actual shutting it down. After they got the mobile going, they neglected the main game. Same could have be for Destiny Rising. Wasn't in the house. Interesting. So this is your speculation, or this is what's happening? You think that they're winding it down, or is it just naturally happening that it's winding down because there's so many games that people are playing? Eclipse says they need to make a superhero BR like Marvel versus DC. That would be so sick. I'm trying to think. That would be pretty cool. That would actually be pretty cool. I mean, but that's basically what Fortnite is right now, right? Minus the powers, because they don't all have their powers, right? But you could basically do that. You could do that right now in Fortnite. You could have a Marvel versus DC inside of Fortnite. John says, I don't want to believe it, but arena shooters is dead. Dead to you, or do you think it's like dead? Like they're just less people. Is there less people playing games in total in arena shooters, or is it the exact same amount of people playing arena shooters, but they're just spread across multiple games now? Instead of like 3 games, they're spread across 7 games. Hilly says Husky Raids, TF, and Halo Infinite is some of the best Halo multiplayer I've played. Much more action than BR. I might want to go back. Maybe next week. Me and Sarge will go play multiplayer in Halo. Or just play Halo, maybe. Maybe. Kuda Papa says, one problem of the 3 original games, Chief had his helmet in 2 of them. Stop the no taking his helmet off BS. There was a moment where he had his helmet off in there, right? There was a moment, but then wasn't he younger at the time? Oh, the neglect was real, but shutting down is my speculation. Gotcha. I don't think they work as well in microtransactions free-to-play era. Oh, you're talking about the arenas. Yeah, I mean, there's just... Look, as a content creator, right, I'm on YouTube, and I'm not competing with... Like, directly competing with, someone doing home improvement or directly competing with something else. But we are all competing. Everyone on YouTube, regardless of the genre that you're in, if you're entertainment or people or gaming or whatever it is, you're all competing, right? You're all competing for the people's time. That's the same thing. Time is the only thing that we all have the same amount of currency of, right? You could be rich, okay? You could be poor, but we all have the exact same amount of time in the day, okay? And companies are trying to get as much of that from you because the more time they can get from you, the more possibility of that you'll spend that money that you have, okay? So we're all in competition. So arena shooters are in competition with BRs, and BRs are in competition with single player, and single players in competition with MMOs. They're all in competition because they're all video games in the same space. So if there's 1 billion people playing, and back in the day it was 100 games of 1 billion people, now there's 1,000 games and there's still 1 billion people playing games. So certain niches, certain communities are not as large up anymore. So they don't make as much money, but at the same time, they're still relevant. They're still making money. There was a game recently that said that they're successful, but but public persona doesn't think it's successful. I mean, Starfield's like that, right? Everyone thinks Starfield's not successful, but Starfield is successful, right? There's a lot of games like that. Let me see what you guys are saying. Scroll back up. You didn't see his face, though. Paul says, who just made that comment? That's the worst take I've ever heard. Kuda Papa says, 30, Chief takes his helmet off in Halo 1 at the end, then puts it on at the beginning of Halo 2. It follows the mill protocol safe area, and you can remove his helmet. Even in the books, it's like that. Yeah, but I think the difference is you're never playing Master Chief with his helmet off, right? And to take it off, this is why people are upset about it, because you're not playing him as you're playing him as Master Chief. So in the show, when they take it off, it like makes him human. Do you understand what I'm saying? We obviously know he's human, but now it proves. And they don't want that. They just want it to be connected to Master Chief, not the drama of that he has to go back to his house and he's my back hurts. Like no one gives a shit about that. That's the problem with people taking the helmet off in the show compared to the video game. Nobody cares. You don't want to humanize Master Chief. He's the Master Chief. He's a badass. He's an action star. I don't care when Sylvester Stallone is murdering people in Rambo and go, man, I wonder how his back feels. Is he a real human? Like, I don't care about that stuff, right? It's even worse when you have a guy covered, right? Like, people were upset when Judge Dredd, the Sylvester Stallone one, he took his helmet off, but they were really excited in the new Judge Dredd because he doesn't take his helmet off. Let's see. World says having it where his face was never shown is still left in mystery and fun to speculate about. And you had a slight hint at what he looked like, but never saw it. Right. Kudapapa says, yeah, but the problem is people ignore why they do it in the games, and the show it is free to do. The games aren't because you are Chief. You are what he looks like. But it is. It's that connection point, though, of what Master Chief is. And there's a difference between hindsight of 2020 of looking back 20 years of what Master Chief was through all the games compared to what they did in the show. Hence why they set the show in a different, like, alternate universe or whatever it was. Sarge says the attitude of Master Chief is almost like the attitude of Space Marines at 40K. Very similar. Yeah. Just brutal. Just sent the most accurate depiction of Halo ever in the DM just to make a point. All right, let me see. Master Chief, Robot Chicken. I'm not going to watch that now, but I'll watch that later. Krebsy says, for a shooter to be successful, they need multiple entry points. Example, the entry points of Arena, BR, Campaign, Horde, Rogue, PvE, PvP, Creative, Custom, Forge, and Portal. Here's the problem. Here's the problem with that, though, Krebsy. When they have that many modes, they can't... Obviously, we all know this is true, right? You can't support all those modes. Every single game that's had that many modes has always had problems because Arena is popular, BR is popular, Horde mode isn't, Rogue isn't, PvE isn't. You know what I mean? Like, they have too many things going on. So they can't support all those things. So something flies off the radar and whatnot. Hell, Destiny just had it, and all they had was Campaign and the Crucible. Okay? There's too many things going on. So they gotta pick and choose what they want to put in the game. Because in the old days, minus the game modes, they had too many maps. And the maps, instead of game modes, were just maps. Well, certain maps were more popular than others. And because those maps were popular, less people played on the other map. So when you wanted to play on a map you couldn't get on, you're like, no one ever plays this map. And they had to remove those maps. And then they added DLC where you paid for extra maps, and then everyone started playing those new maps. That's the same issue with PvP, with multiplayer in general. When you have too many game modes, when you have too many maps, when you have too many things, it divides the player. So now you have 16 maps. I think the new Call of Duty has 16 maps, okay? But how many different game modes do you have? Okay, so if you have 1 million people playing the game, how many millions of people are playing in the PvP? How many half of those million people are playing in the campaign and then never play again? How many people are playing in the Horde mode? How many people are playing in the BR mode? Of course, you need more than you don't need them all, but at the same time, you still need to make sure that whatever you put in the game, it works. But does it fit? Not all of these things would fit in all of the games. Kudapapa says 30 people are just overly fanatical about the no helmet rule, but ignore all of the lore that's been established via the books, the movies, etc. Maybe I know more about it because it gets annoying to me. Well, here's another thing about the books, the movies, the TV show, the whatever else, right? There are certain people that read everything, and that would be what you are, okay? Then there's the people that just play the video games, right? So this is why Marvel did what they did, right? There's the comics, and then people would always argue about, well, this is what happened in the comics, but that's not what happens in the movies because the movie is a cinematic universe, and that's the comic universe, and this is the cinematic universe. And then you get into conversations and talk about what works and what doesn't work. Not everyone's read the books. People just look at the video game, and then when they do it in the show, they tell you, well, the show is not the game. It takes place in a different place. The books are different than the video games. But if you're a fan of all Halo and you're reading all that stuff, you have all the information and know all the stuff. But there's people that just watch the game or just play or watch the show or just read the books, and that is basically the issue. All right, let me see what you guys scroll down. Come on, Lucas. Hello, everyone. I would not agree that every first-person shooter needs all those made, but the thing is, they are expected from Halo game at this point. Well, if the game modes are there, you can keep them there, right? Like the Forge mode that's happening, where people make stuff and they said they made a BR. Look at Fortnite. If you go to the Fortnite and you see all those game modes that people made, there's some that are made by Epic. There's some that are made by like validated people that are making those mods. Okay. And then there's people that just make them and play. And you look at it, tells you like 2 million people playing this, 264 people playing this, 8,000 playing that. If you make that, then that's a niche that they have, and people play what they play. But if a company is doing that themselves, it's way too many, right? But if they open it up to the public, and the public is making those game modes, then they're fine with that, because they're not taking their resources to make that type of stuff. They're putting that stuff out in our hands, and then the fans of these games, if it is a Fortnite, if it is a Halo, if it is a Fallout, if it is a Starfield, and they're making mods and stuff, that's going out to the public to make the games. So the company doesn't have to worry about that. They just have to worry about making and putting resources towards what they're paying for. All right, that's a huge difference. Kuda Papa says, I also want to be picky with the books. For the original 2 games came out before the games came out. So the base material are those books. Again, not everyone reads the books. So you're going to have an argument with people that someone that watches the movies for Marvel and has never read a comic book in their life, you're never going to change their mind that Tony Stark is Robert Downey Jr. and the way his character is there, okay, compared to what it is in the comics. Same with Captain Marvel with Brie Larson, okay, and her character in the actual comics. People that read the comics know more than the people that just watch the movies, and the people that watch the movies have a different outlook than the people that read the books, right? That's what's always going to happen. El Nini says that's what Halo did with Forge. Yeah. Instead of making them the content, they make the content, they put it out in the public's hands. And then the public can make whatever they want with it. So it's okay if I make a level and 10 people are playing it, because they didn't take the time and resources to do it. Robert Jones says, before Robert Downey Jr., I always thought Iron Man was mid. He was mid. He was like a B-level character in Marvel. The movies made him an A-lister and blew him up. 100%, Jones. People liked Iron Man, okay? But he wasn't like this. He wasn't a Spider-Man level character. He was a B-level character, maybe a C-plus character. But the movies completely changed him around. Kuda Papa says, oh, I agree. I'm just saying that all accepted lore and all in all needs to be taken into consideration, not just the games. I mean, the TV show, I think, is an abomination to the books and the video game, but that's just me. But people liked it. People liked it. Eclipse says, growing up, Iron Man was my favorite superhero besides Spider-Man. But you have to agree, though, Eclipse, that Iron Man wasn't anywhere close to the caliber of Spider-Man or Hulk or Wolverine or anything like that. He was a prominent character, but he was more of a B tier character. That doesn't take anything away from you liking him. Morecat's like, Iron Man was never a B-level character. You take that back, 30. I will not. Because he was a B-level character. You could like him. You could love him. You could have statues of him and everything like that. But he was a B-level character compared to other Marvel characters. Because just like other IPs, you can't have certain characters. There were so many characters that they were making. Certain characters stuck out. Certain characters, they were there, but they weren't prominent. You can't deny that Robert Downey Jr. and what Marvel did with the movie and what they did with the movies and just the entire 15-year span made Iron Man a much more popular character than he was before them. What's going on, Mr. Luke? Luke says, yo, yo, yo. How's it going? Iron Man was so B-team. That's exactly right. I'm not making fun of anyone's mom here. I'm saying you that Iron Man was a B-tier character. And funny enough, Hulk wasn't a B-tier character, but Marvel made him into one. Okay? Marvel made him into one because of contractual stuff. Okay? So, no, Hulk was A-level. Okay? Travis. But the movies, they fucked him up so bad. Not only is he B tier, C tier, D tier, he's beta Hulk. Iron Man is what got me into comic books, so I'm biased. I was the first thing my dad bought me when it came to comic books. I totally understand. Again, it's not making fun of you, and if you like him or anything in shape or form, it's talking about the persona of what Iron Man was. 30, it's funny because the TV show used a lot of lore from the books and other media, and it also could have been better. But, again, I know more of the lore, but it was also much more connected than I thought. Travis says Hulk is still F tier. I mean, it's coming from you, though, so. So what about Safe Space and Snowflake? Z tier. Luke says, "Oh, I'm sorry, that's the wrong one." Luke, where did Luke go? There's Luke. Luke said Hulk, Spider-Man, Wolverine, 100% top 3 from the 90s. Yeah, well, Hulk, fucking from the 70s. Travis says, Hulk is such a little bitch, they can't even use him in the next movie. They got to use... yeah, but the reason they can't use him is because they didn't own the rights to him. They didn't own the rights to him, so they couldn't do anything with him. He wasn't allowed to have his own standalone movie. So, no, what's going on? Good morning. Jason says X-Men in general were peak in the 90s. Oh, yeah. Yeah. X-Men was fantastic. And if you guys haven't watched the new X-Men show, X-Men 97, it's a fantastic show on Disney Plus. If you guys haven't watched it. It is actually really good. And it's a continuation from the 90s series. Was Deadpool popular in the 90s? He was and wasn't. Like, he was just there. Like, there was a lot of characters that just kind of just didn't do anything. Looking back at it now, here in 2024, looking back 20 years, like, there's much more credence behind these characters now, right? The movie industry propelled, with the X-Men movies in the 90s and whatnot, propelled a lot of these characters to become more prominent than they were back in the 70s and 80s, right? If you talk to a comic book guy, they were all popular back then, okay? But if you're talking to, like, pop culture media and stuff like that, no. Right? And according until 2008, comic books didn't exist in the pop culture in the film realm besides X-Men, right? Like, there were comic book movies, but you had the Batmans and the Supermans back in the 70s. Like, Superman was fantastic for DC. Batman was popular, right? But there wasn't a lot of other characters being made. And some of the movies that were being made, like there's a Fantastic Four movie that was made way back when that never got shown. They just made it. There was a Spider-Man film that got made. It looks terrible, right? There are characters like a Blade and stuff like that. But for the most part, There's 1,000 fucking characters for both DC and like Marvel, and they made five characters. You can count on one hand of the movies they type of made, and just made multiples of those, or rebooted that. Right? How many times has Superman been rebooted? How many times has Batman been rebooted? Right? How many times has Spider-Man been rebooted? Okay. Now the reason they reboot them, okay, is because they have to keep a license, and that's why they have to keep making the films. Okay. But because of the success, even though X-Men and them were out before, because of the success of Marvel Studios and Disney with the Marvel brand, that's when it exploded. And when it exploded, that's when everyone was like, what characters can we use? Let's bring in people. Travis says 30. Captain Marvel in the comics is awesome. In the movies, to a little let Soldier Boy say it maybe and smile more than if find a man instead of being out there playing the Captain Lesbo. In the comics, she's very even in the TV shows, in the the cartoons and stuff like that. She's very like rough around the edges, okay, and she is a bitch, but at the same time, she's much better than they did in the actual movie. Altern says, "Don't you talk bad about Japanese Spider-Man." Yeah, Thor was B tier. Yep. Travis says 30. Marvel Rivals having 40 characters at launch. Congrats, you have made it 1/100th of the roster you could have. Did they announce the actual 40 characters? Did they actually announce 40 characters? Because I haven't heard the 40 characters yet, unless they just did it. I know we're at 28, I think, right now, aren't we? Or something like that. Krebsy says, should 343 next Halo reboot or continue the story, because even if they reboot it, they still will be compared to Bungie. We talked about this the other night with Kingard on chatting with. I said, do they reboot it, or do they continue on? And I said, I think they reboot it. I think they reboot it because then they can redo everything they do in the new engine, and then it's not compared anymore because it's a new engine. Sure, you're going to compare them because it's Halo. Halo's Halo, and you're going to compare it to Bungie's Halo. But in my opinion, I think they reboot it. They don't continue it on. They reboot it with a new engine, and they start a whole new game with the Unreal Engine, even if it is the exact same games but done in the Unreal Engine, and then it's their own. They're no longer chasing what they did for Bungie and Halo. It's now their Halo in their new engine. Lucas says, the funny thing about the comic industry is that you always hear that it's dying, and it's still here. Well, when they say dying, right? I don't know if you follow Eric July with the Ripperverse, right? He's a brand new person starting his brand new company with his new characters and his comic book in it, and he's selling 3,000, 5,000, 10,000 comics, and that's huge for him. But that number for Marvel and for DC is horrendous, okay? Because they used to sell millions of copies, okay? And now he's outselling them, okay, for his comics, outselling some of the top comics that are out there, okay? So, yeah, the comic industry is dying because less and less people don't want to buy that mainstream stuff anymore, and they're not selling like they did in the past because we are in a different landscape. Because back in the day, there wasn't comic book films, and now that's all they make is comic book films. But yeah, the comic book industry is dying. It's still here, right? The record industry died too. Record players are still here. You can still buy records. The last character today was announced was Psylocke. Well, that was a couple of weeks ago when we heard that. El Nidi says Infinite ended on a cliffhanger. I think it still wants to finish that story. Perhaps. Couldn't they just add more content to Infinite? Like, could they put DLC, or do you think they're going to take that and put it into that? I don't know. Kinger pointed out that the armor they were using in that trailer that they were showing was the original armor. There's a test the end of this month, I believe, for Rivals, Luke. I think there's a closed test or something happening soon, I believe, end of this month, and then it comes out December 6th, I think it does, for the full launch. Yeah, you didn't see Psylocke? Here, let me see if I'll find let's see. Yeah, she's coming out. Did they have any pictures on the site? They don't. Here, let me go to YouTube. Do. Sorry, this program is nice, but at the same time, it's not nice. Okay. I don't want to play the music or whatnot, but we'll show it on the screen. So this is the last thing they announced. The last thing I know. This was Psylocke. And I've said this 1,000 times. I love the animation style, the art style of this. Like give me an entire game like this, but not a hero shooter. Right? Like I just love that art style. Completely love that art style. Like I'll take a Destiny type game with all that art style with all the Marvel characters. Give me an MMO with that art style. Right, Luke. This is an MMO. Absolutely. Travis says comic books also used to have a forbidden. Oh, your parents don't want you to read. This is too. I remember my mom hated Spawn, like I hated it. It'd sneak to the friends and read it. Yeah, I used to love Spawn. Look, I got this old. I got the right there. That's Spawn right there. Look at this old Todd McFarlane. Like, that's badass, man. Look at that. So good. This thing's 30 years old. Do I have a year on the bottom of this thing? 1999. Almost 25 years old. Oh yeah, John Leguizamo was in that. People forget about that. It's a good show. Yeah, I have like random. Who would have thought that all the stuff I collected when I was younger is all coming back around? All right. Let's go. What time is it? 11:24. Let's go with the next story. My ducks just went past my house. They're all wobbling right here next to the window. I can hear them. We have 5 ducks. They're pets, by the way. All right. Let's bring up the banner. All right. We do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning till noon Eastern. If you like what I do, we just cover news stories, have conversations with chat. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. If you are a member, I do prioritize, talking to members in chat more than the people that are not members. But I do read all comments and bring you guys on screen as part of the show. Okay, so IO Interactive James Bond game will feature a young 007 that the gamers can call their own. So James Bond is a well-established character, but even so, IO Interactive aims to do something new with it. Okay, so when Hitman developer IO Interactive revealed that it was also working on a James Bond game in 2020, it saw that the ideal bit of licensing take out a bald assassin stick of British secret agent and Hitman and his sequel are basically already Bond, he wrote at the time. But the interview with IGN CEO Hacken, I'm going to butcher this guy's name, said IO's taken on the character might be a little different from the fellow used in seeing on the screen. He says, quote, James Bond is a different IP. It's a huge IP. It's an IP sort of like Indiana Jones or Star Wars or Star Trek or anything else, right? It's not just an IP that actually is the first IP that was also not original IP from the ground up, okay? Abrac said that is something exciting about the project is that we actually got to do an original story. So it's not a gamification of a movie. It's completely new, beginning and becoming a story, hopefully, for a big trilogy out in the future. Now, it's also a new Bond, he continued, built from the ground up for gamers. It's extremely exciting with the tradition and all the history where it is there. Now, to work all together with the family and creating a young Bond for gamers, a Bond that also gamers can call their own or grow with. Presumably, the family is also referring to the Brocolites, who produce the Bond films and also control the rights of the character. I'm happy to hear that IO is doing its own thing with the Bond game, although the promise of the original story doesn't set me to a tingle. With all the due respect, Bond stories tend to follow a fairly well-structured formula and are differentiated more by the actor in the role. The savvy Bond, the old Bond, the hard-ass Bond, the soldier, the should have had a better agent Bond. They also monumentary narratives of these they exist, but formulaic, can't say that word. Fuck me. All right. Formulaic, thank you, are not just the freedom in that. You can also stick Jimmy in the middle of the ridiculous outer space laser battle or have him brutally beat a man to death and grubbly public crapper, and both make a valid Bond story. Embrack says that while the James Bond is one of the top 3 IPs out there in terms of movies, it's been a long time since there's also been a new Bond game, so it's not overexposed. What was the last Bond game? Was that GoldenEye? Was there another Bond game? I think GoldenEye was like the last one. Okay, thinks that the benefit of IO, I don't want to speak too big about it, but I just hope that it would also be doing well-defined James Bond in gaming for the years to come. He said it, which quite frankly strikes me as speaking pretty big about it. It's also not only the game, but it's also been create a universe for gamers to own its many years to come. It's also grow with the next of the Bond in the movies. Okay, and as for that, the proper look of the new game, Abrac said to work is going to amazingly be, but offered a specific time frame, saying only that if you'll soon be talking more about it. Here's the one thing they can't do. The one thing that they can't do with James Bond, otherwise they'll get dragged through the mud like anything else, is that you have to at least have him as a man. You can't have Jamie Bond. You have to have James Bond. Okay? Yeah, there's sometimes the words that I hit that just they block, and I can't say it. James Bond has to be a dude. If you can make James Bond and you can make him your own character, okay, it better not be to make female or male. It's got to be a male character, and you can make him any way you want, which I would be fine with. But James Bond's role is a male character, okay? Like, so if I want to put myself as Bond in a video game, Cool. Okay. If I want to make Jack Burton as James Bond, cool. Okay. Why does he look like Hitman? Because it's making the article is being made because it's the company that made Hitman. Forgot about 360 Solstice. Not great. Was there a game? I don't even remember the game. Bond Racing was last, right? I have no idea. Quantum of Solstice on the 360. Bond Racing was the last. Bond Racing. That is that real? Yeah, that is Hitman. The article is being written, and they made him look like James Bond because he's a waiter in a thing when he's doing the Hitman thing, and it's being made by the people that made Hitman. Kuda Papa says Bond. Tiffany Bond. Yeah, that is Hitman. That is not the game. We have not seen the James Bond footage in any way, shape, or form. I gotta look it up. What is the? Let's see. James Bond games. Okay. No, the last one. The last one was 2012. 007 Legends. That's the last one. Here, I'll show you this. Right? The last one is Legends. And there's a huge gap. Okay? So we have GoldenEye in 1997. Then we had James Bond 007. Tomorrow Never Dies. The World Is Not Enough on the N64. World Is Not Enough on the PlayStation. We have 007 Racing, which is like 2001. 2001. World Is Not Enough. Agent Under Fire. Then you have Nightfire. Then you have Everything But Nothing. Okay. Then you have Rogue Agent. Then you have From Russia with Love. Then you have Quantum of Solstice 2008, which is a terrible movie. By the way, there was a writer's strike then, so that's why the movie sucked balls. Then you have GoldenEye 007, James Bond 007 Bloodstone, and then you have Legends. And then it's just been fucking just nothing. Nothing. Just a huge gap. Like, what are they doing? What are they doing with it? Yeah, look, the only thing they have to do to start off by not getting shit on is making sure that Bond is a guy. That's it. That's the requirement. James Bond is a dude. Okay? We'll cross the bridge, okay, if they make it a black man or a white man, which it doesn't really matter. It just needs to be a dude. It just needs to be a dude. That's everyone's complaint. James Bond is a dude. If they change it in any way, shape, or form, they're going to get shit on, and that game's going to bomb. Just sent a picture of the rumored next James Bond. Fine. Right? I know that Idris Elba was up for it as well, if I'm not mistaken, which would be fine as well. The requirements for James Bond is a good-looking dude that is just badass looking and just loves women. That's James Bond. If you change that format, go make a different character. Which I watched the movie a couple months ago, which I told you guys. Gal Gadot was in it, or Godot, how do you say it? What was it called? I gotta look it up. It's like Rose something. I'll look it up real fast. Heart and Stone. Okay. make a different character, make it like a James Bond character. It's fantastic. Okay, yeah, it's called Red Stone. Okay, it was great because it wasn't called Red Stone. Heart of Stone. Red Notice. Heart of Stone. Heart of Stone. It's only a 5.7, but the good part about this is that it was its own character, and she's a secret agent. Tell your story. Just don't take a character that's already established and switch it. Hopefully they don't do that with the video game. Regardless if it's a video game taking place with the movie or not with the movie. If we could create our own character, cool. Make your character, make them look however you want. Crowded says, Gal Gadot. Eclipse says, the only person I would suggest not doing Henry Cavill. It makes no sense. He's too big. Yeah, well, Idris Elba, I think, is too big as well. James Bond is always nice to have a character that starts off and then becomes, But Pierce Brosnan was a big guy as well. Daniel Craig wasn't as big as he was. Obviously, it threw him up in the stratosphere when he became Bond. But I like the stuff. That's the only thing they have to do. Just make sure the game has a male protagonist. Put some like Mass Effect effects in there. Like you can bang some hot girls and stuff. Like a Mass Effect type of scenes or whatnot. Okay, that's what Bond is: shooting guns, driving good cars, hanging out with good-looking women. That's basically the whole thing. Yeah, Red Notice is the one. Red Notice is the one with Gal, Ryan Reynolds, and The Rock, and they're coming out with number 2 of that, I believe. Like you can't have The Rock play James Bond in a movie. It just doesn't work out because he's supposed to look like a normal guy. The Rock sticks out like a sore thumb in a crowd. You know what I mean? The male power fantasy is toxic now. 30. Okay, that's what James Bond is. If a person doesn't like that, then it's not for them. I don't go out and buy Barbie toys. I don't go out and I didn't go watch Barbie because that's not a movie that I would like to watch. Right? Now, I did see it because my wife wanted to watch it. But what I'm saying is, if I don't like that thing, I don't watch that thing. Now, I'm not going to go tell you, don't watch that thing. What I'm saying is, not everything is meant for everybody. And if the male power fantasy is that toxicity of white man, black man, Hispanic man, shooting guns, banging chicks, and driving fast cars, sign me up because I want to be entertained when I watch my movies. Men want to be Bond, women want to be with Bond. That's right. That's right. So the only thing they have to do to not screw this game up initially is make sure you can only make a man. Now, what type of game should it be? Is it an RPG? Right? Is it an RPG? Is it just an action adventure game? Do you want to up? I think the only thing you would want to upgrade is the tools you get, right? The little devices you get. How's it going, Alien? Yeah. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Just make Hitman with Bond themed. Sold. I think you've solved it. I think you've solved it, Jones. That's all they're gonna do. That's what people will compare it to. They'll be like, "Oh yeah, it's just Hitman, but with Bond themed." Eclipse says I'm fine with them making it where you can make your own Bond. That'd be cool. I wouldn't be mad at that. Sure, as long as you can't make a woman. Like James Bond, like if you made a game about Rambo, Rambo is one person. You know what I mean? Now, if they want to make the video game of Heart of Stone, then make that. You know what I mean? Z says they should make a better version of City and Try to do with Alpha Protocol RPG spy game. Oh, I forgot about that. Kuda Papa says IO's Hitman games are good base for how James Bond games should be. Yeah. I would assume that's why they wanted the IP to do it, right? It probably be people will probably compare it to like, oh, this is just Hitman with the Bond skin on it. I mean, I'm gonna say it right now. If they make a Hitman game like Bond, it'll be compared to what Ubisoft did with the Avatar game that was just like Far Cry, but with Avatar skin. That's what they'll compare it to, right? That's the same comparison it would be. It'd be like, oh, this is just Hitman with Bond. This is just Far Cry, but with Avatar. That's what people will compare it to if it is like that. Travis says, nah, Hitman sucks. Give me a good game. All right, let me go back up to... See if that plays a little bit lower. There we go. It'll just keep getting louder and louder. Should be a first-person shooter. I would like a third-person game. Especially if you could make your own character. Right? Again, we're all speculating. If you could make your own character, I don't want to be in first person. That's actually pretty good, Travis. Bond needs to be like a Splinter Cell or better. Yeah. Wasn't the last Hitman game like a co-op game? See, is the music getting louder? I love how the 32 votes for the standard or ticker, it's 50-50. No help. I'm at the exact same spot I was before I had the poll. I was like, do I want the ticker or do I want the standard? And I look up at the poll, and the poll is the exact same. 50-50. Curse you, chat. Yeah. Hey. Here's the examples. Do you want a ticker like this or a ticker like that? Or a thing like this? Right? Do you want it do you want it stable? Do you want it stable or do you want a ticker? Maybe you can change your vote because now you can see both of them on the screen at the exact same time. See, you can never make anyone happy. 50% of the population doesn't want the ticker, and 50% of it does. Why is that music getting louder? It's creeping up. It just keeps getting louder. All by itself. That doesn't help, Alien. No ticker for me, so that will break the tie. Did you vote? Okay, we're gonna lower it again and then leave it at exactly where it was. It doesn't make sense. I don't understand this program with the music. Sons of bitches. Revote. It's still up there, isn't it? Yeah, the poll's still there. Oh, but if you already voted, you can't change your vote. Yeah. Krebsy says, film I think would be cool is John Wick versus James Bond. Yeah, I can already see it, right? So they start off, right? John Wick is taking out James Bond, but James Bond has been watching John Wick. And then they find out that the person that hired one and the other are both their mortal enemy. So they joined forces where John Wick and James Bond joined forces to take out the bad guy. That's it. Sounds good. I'll watch it. Yeah, we had a hanging Chad. Hilly, we had a hanging Chad. We got to stop the count. All right, let's see what we have on Twitter this morning. Let's see what we have on Twitter. If you guys like what I do, we do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock to about 12. Go past 12. If you like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We'll leave that there. We'll leave the scrolling up there for a little bit for Hilly. PlayStation 6 and the next Xbox shouldn't fight over teraflops, former Sony boss says. I'm not going to read that now, but we have a podcast tonight. We have a podcast tonight called Generation X Gaming, a weekly podcast that goes over a few of the top stories in the past week, and we rant along the way with Sarge. That's tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern, so make sure you guys come out for that. We might cover stories that we didn't cover already. What we got? 1 o'clock, we have the Xbox partner preview. You guys said it's going to be about a half hour long. It's 90 minutes away. I thought it was 90 minutes. All right, here, I'll put it this way. Let's take another vote. We're done with this vote because now the standards here. Alien came in and made it over. We'll end it. It's the standard. So when we do the news stories, that'll stay stagnant, but the ticker will be here for stuff like this. New poll. There you go. The new poll is, do you want me to be live for the Xbox show at 1 p.m.? And if the answer is yes, I will take a break, go eat lunch, and then come back before it starts, and then we'll have a separate stream. I'm not going to stay live and go through it. New poll: Dr. Pepper or root beer? Root beer. I hate when I ask for root beer and they bring me Dr. Pepper. It's not the same. Doesn't taste the same. It's not the same. What time is that in the UK? What are you, 5-hour difference? 5 hours or 6 hours? That would be it would be an hour from now. Hour and 10 minutes from now. What brand of root beer? I like all root beers. But there's, if I had to choose between like the ones that we know, like A&W, Mug, what's the other one? Barks. I like Barks. I like Barks better from the main ones. Like every day you go out somewhere, you know what I mean? Yeah, but you can't get that stuff. You know what I mean? You can't get that stuff everywhere, Z. Who the hell thinks that root beer is the same as Dr. Pepper? Every time I go to a goddamn restaurant, Eclipse, we went to Ale House recently. And I asked for a root beer. The woman looked at me and said, "Okay," brought me back, sat the glass down. As I raised it to my face, I could smell it, and I was like, "This is not Dr. Pepper." And I tasted it, and I was like, "This is not root beer." I tasted it, I was like, "Oh, it's Dr. Pepper." The lady never came back. I think she got fired. I walked over to the bar. I was like, "Hey, can I have a root beer, please?" They gave me the wrong thing. The bartender looked at me and said, "We don't have root beer." And I was like, "Then what the fuck was the? Why wouldn't she say it? Why wouldn't she just say we don't have root beer?" Like, we don't have it. Okay, great. I'll take a Coke. Right? I can't stand it, Dolphin. I can't stand it. That cherry Coke, Diet Coke, any of the Coke Zero shit. I can't have any of that. She was embarrassed. What would she be embarrassed about? Oh, IBC's good too. Yeah, cream soda. All she had to say was, "Man, it's not. We don't have that." Like when you go to a store, any kind of restaurant, they only have Pepsi or Coke products. So you're either going to get A&W, Barks, or what's it called? I can't even think of the other one. But that's what it is. You're not going to find IBC. You're not going to find Dad. You're not going to find any of that. She's soda blind. Maybe there's people that just don't know the difference. Maybe people really do believe that Dr. Pepper tastes like that root beer, but I don't. They'd be 100% wrong, but it is what it is. Sea of Thieves servers are now offline in preparation for the arrival of Season 14. Okay. That was 6 hours ago. 2 hours ago, the team is working hard to bring back online. 29 minutes ago, we're almost ready to let Pirates set sail. So it's not out yet. Today on Digital Foundry, It's all about the Until Dawn patch 1.0.5 has dropped on PC and PlayStation 5. Fixes are in place and problems have emerged, and it doesn't do enough to redeem the disastrous launch. So there you go. Oh, did you guys hear that Veilguard, Dragon Age Veilguard, is going to run 60 frames per second on the S? That's what they said. Yeah, Luke, I've played about 30 to 40 hours inside the Throne of Liberty. I like it. I don't love it. I like it. I don't love it. I'm having a good time with it, though. Jones says, they usually say we have Dr. Pepper. You still want it? That's exactly right. Most of the time, that's what they say. They're like, no, we have Dr. Pepper. You still want it? I'm like, no. They're like, okay. "60 frames per second will S will explode." Nah, it'll be fine. Who deleted a message? Also, Stalker 2 devs said that they are also going to get 60 frames on the S. These devs are learning. All right, so here's a trick or a tip I'll give you, Luke. Do not, because if you just started, do not merge your stuff, because you can transfer your gear into your next gear. Make sure if you get green gear that you level that green gear up, okay, to level 6 on whatever that is that you want, okay, and then merge it into that blue piece when you get a blue piece. Because what'll happen is the green gear, okay, the green gear in Thrones and Liberty is cheaper, okay, to get and whatnot to put into your gear than the blue materials. Okay, so if you don't upgrade your gear all the way and then toss that level 6 into the blue, which then will make blue 3, okay, and vice versa with raise your blue all the way up before you go to purple, and so on and so forth. Because if you make that mistake, you're going to have to grind for the blue material, which is much harder to get than the green material. So you want that green material to level up all your green gear to level 6, and then take that 6 and then merge it into your blue, which will make it a blue 3. Altern says 60 frames per second. I bet the resolution is 360p. Yeah. I have no interest. I have no interest in Stalker 2. I didn't play the first one. I hope the game comes out and it's not broke, buggy, and unfinished because, one, minus what's happening over there, just making a game in the regular, because they were 2 years delayed because of COVID stuff, right? And then the war started, and then they got postponed more. So hopefully Stalker 2 comes out and it's complete and it's a good game, and they can get a shine of light of goodness comes to those developers. Sarge says the potato isn't handling shit. You could play 60 frames per second games on the S right now. Just games that come out are not at 60 frames per second. Coulter says, I need to see a surprising DLC at the Box Partner Showcase. All right, so you guys want me to go live for the show at 1 o'clock. So we'll do that. I'll make another stream. We'll go live at 1 o'clock. But it's gotta be once the show ends. I can't talk for like 20, 30 minutes. I got things to do before I pick up my son from school. So we'll go live at 1 o'clock. We'll watch the show, talk a little bit, and then we'll see you tonight for 8 p.m. So we'll do another show at 1 p.m. actually, any studio said get out game and 60 free potato skins would get my buy. I mean, I get it's a meme, right? I get it's a meme. Did you see the article? Did you see the article yesterday? It came out on the 25th. I posted in Discord yesterday. I don't know if anyone read it. The article talked about how the PlayStation 5, the architecture of the PlayStation 5 Pro, PlayStation, Sony themselves said that they actually had this technology before the PlayStation 5 came out, but they didn't give it to you. And that, my friends, is fucking hilarious. One company put a potato and a big box out with no thing, and the other company put a lesser product out and then holding it back for 4 years because they said they could give it to you, but they didn't. Just so I find that funny. The original Until Dawn was made by Supermassive Games. The remake was made by Ballistic Moon, who made it. A lot of Supermassive game devs. Both studios still operate. All right, let me shut that off. All right, so what we're going to do, I'm going to wrap it up here. I do appreciate you guys coming out and hanging out with us. We're going to end this. I'm going to go eat. Do some stuff around the house, and then I'll be back a little bit before 1 o'clock. We'll probably go about 12:50. We'll go live. We'll watch the Xbox showcase or Xbox event thing that's going on at 1 p.m. So if you want to come back, hang out with me for that. I appreciate it very much. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. I do appreciate you very much for coming out and hanging out with us this morning, this afternoon, or this evening. And I'll see you guys at 1 p.m. And if I don't see you at 1 p.m., I'll see you at 8 p.m. tonight for Generation X Gaming, the weekly podcast that goes over a few of the top stories from the past week. And we rant along the way on Generation X Gaming. I'll see you guys later. Peace.